What is up, everybody? How's everybody doing? Welcome to another edition of 49er Minded, where we get into the minds of 49er fans. I got my boy, my co-host, John V, right here from the Locker Room Rant. How you doing?
What's up, bro? Good to see you, man. Good to be here. Always a pleasure. What's up, chat? It's a good week, bro. It's been a good week, man. We had a victory Monday. We're doing well, man. My Cavs are 5-0. Just beat the Lakers.
Oh, the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now the Warriors have 3-1, I believe. Do you hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you good. I hear you clear.
Okay, cool. I was on my other microphone earlier, the laptop microphone, so I have everything situated. Let's say what's up to some people who've been waiting patiently. So we got 49 throwbacks in the house. Loyal supporter. Appreciate you, brother. Just thank you for tuning in, faithful. Make sure to smash that like. Appreciate you. Jimmy's in the house. Says, yo, what's up, Bash and John? Always appreciate you, Jimmy. Sure, some people will trickle in later. We came in here a little unannounced, as they say. But it's all good, man. Hey, better late than never, as they say. Hey, you're talking about the Cleveland Cavaliers. I was going to mention the Warriors, man. The Warriors, I don't know if you caught them in any highlights or any games or whatever, but they're 3-1 right now. And they, for whatever reason, man, they just look way more deep and way more athletic than they were last year. And they almost look like the Splash Brothers type championship teams.
Hey, that's a good thing, bro.
It's kind of weird, man. I was like, I'm not going to get too up on them, but I was pretty down on Steve Kerr. I'm going into this season thinking that he didn't make the proper moves to get the team right, and I don't know. Things are looking good so far, at least.
Good, bro.
We'll see, What's up, John Lynch? I see you, brother. Says, what's good? Long time no see, man. It's just John Lynch from Spaces, if you remember him, John V.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yep.
What's up, boy? That's a name, dude. I mean,
know.
despite the fact that it's John Lynch.
Everybody thinks
John Lynch,
like an imposter.
That's not the GM of the 49ers. I haven't heard from him or seen him around the Spaces in a long time.
Yeah, I don't think he's on Twitter anymore, bro. But he's definitely around on my chats. I really appreciate it for coming on here.
I always appreciated his takes. They were always down to earth, level headed, right? Like he
never hit his feelings either. He never hit his feelings.
No.
That's
cool. That's cool.
Yes, and bear with me, guys. I'm just trying to drop the link around to some people. That's why I'm texting on my phone really, really quick. You guys don't mind. But, reason why I do the show, obviously, we always got to do a show whenever we play a game. I apologize for not being on. Some family things got in the way. Some work things got in the way. A lot of things got in the way the past few days when I was trying to go on last week and earlier this week. I will say this, though. I don't care if we're 1-9, 1-10, 0-12. And if we beat the Cowboys, hey, it feels good, you know what I mean? So
yeah.
It just 30-24, I'll take it, I know there was some funny stuff happening at one point, and we were up, I believe, like 17 at the most at one point, but it's what it is. We still ended up winning the game, and we had there were a lot of big plays, a lot of highlights, and we'll get into all that. But what did you think your overall take from the game?
I mean, listen, when Isaac Rendo's getting 6 yards a carry, it's a good day, bro. The rookies, I think the rookies are going to be a theme this season, right? And I think it's special, right? Because we don't really get to cherish rookies. That said, we don't draft well enough to cherish rookies. So this draft class, though, you really don't have a choice, right? Like these guys have next man up mentality, next man up situation, and they bought into the Niner way. And they're great. Like I really have, outside of just the Dallas game, bro, I've really just grown mucho respect for like Renardo Green and Mustafa, however you like to have it pronounced. I know you're very particular.
You throw a little Greek. I like it when you say it. The proper way is to say Mustafa. I'm not saying it like the right way, but when you say, you kind of throw a little Greek spice on it.
I spiced it up. I spiced it up.
But I hate it. Honestly, I hate it when people say Mustafa. Like, I like it because it sounds like the Lion King. Mustafa. It's like, stop saying Mustafa. What's funny though, he did actually say Mustafa before the game started. You know how they have the players' faces on the screen?
Yeah.
And they're like, so the player intros nowadays are getting so weird. Like people are saying what high school they came from, or they say, oh, George Kittle, tight end university. Like nobody says like the real college anymore that they came from.
I mean, at this point, when you're a veteran of 7+ years, what difference does it make, right? Like It's irrelevant at this point. I know what you mean. I've noticed some guys don't even say anything; they just stare at the screen. So it's good to do, right?
I forgot where I saw it. There was a whole YouTube video on it, or it was an ESPN or NFL Network. They covered this whole like segment on that and how that
the
has
overlays, right?
Yeah, well, yeah. When they show the players' faces and they announce, because usually the player lineups are announced by the announcers, right? And they'll have the names on the screen. But for Monday Night Football, it's different. Sunday Night Football is different. I'm not sure if they do that for Thursday Night Football or for Monday Night Football as well. But I know for a fact they obviously just did it on Sunday with the Niners just playing, right?
Right.
Yeah. And John Lynch says, he's talking about the draft. He said, the draft is one of the best in Niner history, at least through 8 games. Pretty nice so far. But I will say this, though. People say that we draft really bad. I beg to differ. I think we draft very well in the middle to lower rounds. So obviously that's where we got Purdy and a few other bigger names. For some reason, some funny stuff does happen from time to time in the earlier rounds. Knock on wood. So far, Pooney's looking pretty nice. I mean, he's a second round pick, but he's looking like a first rounder. The reason why I said knock on wood, and I am banging on wood right now, is Ricky Pearsall. I love the kid. He's a great guy. He's got talent. Now, obviously, a lot of people felt that we reached for him. We finally have him suited up and playing in games, 2 games under his belt now. We all know what happened, that crazy shooting incident. I don't want to get into that really, but a lot of people who hated him because he was getting hurt all throughout camp, and we never saw him. They were shitting on him, trapping on him. A lot of them decided to stop doing that once they found out what happened, and so everybody's rallying around the guy. I want, just for the simple fact that obviously he's a first rounder as a Niner. If you're a Niner fan, you definitely want the best from him. So hopefully that pick pans out too.
Oh, for sure. I think that he was phenomenal for his debut, so to speak, right? Like that what was it? How many yards did he get on that handoff from Purdy? What was that play, bro? What was
39? It was a jet sweep.
A jet sweep.
He came from the right side of he was lined up with wide receiver from the right side and then ran all the way. And then the moment Purdy took this, it was a great play design, by the way. The moment Purdy took the snap, boom, it was like an immediate handoff because
I was going to say
right next to him.
Yes, I was going to say, because when we execute the jet sweep with Debo, you could see it coming from outside of Santa Clara. You know what I'm saying? We advertise it where was so smoothly done. I don't know. It was executed quite well. I was impressed. I enjoyed it. But that's it. Let me just finish off my thoughts. Right.
Go ahead.
The draft class is there. We're getting contributions from these guys, and it's really it's special to see. Right. That said, anytime you can beat the Cowboys, it's a special week. And when you can tie in the rookies to the mix, it's even more special at that. But yes, Ricky had a hell of a game, man. And what I noticed most and what stood out to me was the fans, right? That stadium I wasn't even there, but when you watch the clips on various shorts, TikToks of people all over the country, fans that were there. I mean, bro, it was so loud when Ricky came out of the tunnel, when Ricky had the sweep, bro. Like, it was, I don't know, man. I don't know. It was just electric. So there's something special about this draft class this season, bro. They're contributing at a really high rate. And what I really liked about, I can't remember if it was Renardo Green, but I remember one of these rookies said, it may seem like we don't get a lot of burn. And I mean, this wasn't verbatim. This is me, but they were saying, like, yes, it was probably Malik, right? He said, we know how to play football, and we know what the goal is here. And they're basically bought into the Niner way, and they understand the Niner way, or the culture nonetheless, and they want to contribute, right? So it was powerful. I wish it was verbatim because it meant a lot more, but nonetheless, dude, they know what the goal is, and they know who we are, and they're proud to be Niners, and they've just adapted, and they're adapting, and they're growing in this scheme. So it's special, man. I love it. I love it a lot.
Yeah, I agree with you. And then there's been a lot of mixed reviews in terms of how people are perceiving what the locker room vibe or what the team vibe is this season, right? Like, during a training camp, everybody's like, oh, wow, everybody's focused. And oh, wow, like the rookies look great. Oh, wow, the depth is going to be amazing this year. Like, if you heard me on my preseason videos, and not just me, a whole bunch of people, maybe because I was reading a lot of reports and all that, we thought the depth was going to be superb this year. Unfortunately, a lot of injuries happened, and just a lot of things that we didn't expect took place. But at the same time, regardless, the rookie class has stepped up. I mean, Pooney, obviously, like I mentioned earlier, he looks like a first rounder. Now, do I wish we drafted a tackle? Yes. But did I wish Pooney was a tackle when we drafted him? Supposedly he was in college, and then they're saying he's got short arms and he can't play tackle. But when I see him out there, I was like, dude, tell me he's not better than McKivitz. And tell me he looks like he has short arms when he's on the field. He doesn't look like it to me. Like he's like T-Rex or something like that. You know what I mean? But
He looks fantastic.
He looks really, really nice. And he's not perfect, but there's times where he looks amazing. It really is. And there's times where he's just blowing people up. And sure, he makes mistakes here and there. I've seen it happen. No big deal. But yeah, I mean, the game was a lot of fun just because early, when we built up that big lead, it got really, really fun, right? And then obviously in typical Niner fashion, we do things just like, okay, first of all, the DBs, in my opinion, played an excellent game. You mentioned Renardo Green. Renardo Green actually, he out of all the DBs, actually out of all the defensive players, Renardo Green had the highest PFF grade, 91.3.
And he went out.
Yeah, he had 45 snaps overall. Just for comparison, Diamador Lenore had 61 snaps. So he did miss some snaps, but not too much time, so to speak. But I mean, Renardo Green, when we drafted him out of Florida State, right? A lot of people are like, oh, why aren't we drafting more offensive line? What are we doing? I get it. But, when the pick took place, I talked to some friends that are Florida State fans, and they were like, no, this guy's actually pretty good. We finally drafted defensive back high. I'm like, okay, I'll just wait and see what this guy's all about. But he's got some ability, man. He's so in a little short period of time, man, he's looking pretty good. He's got ability. We mentioned Malik Mustafa. Minus that play against the Chiefs where he got ran over and got humiliated, he was having himself a great game. He was tearing shit up against the Chiefs. And he looked pretty good against the Cowboys too. Jair Brown had a really, really nice game. He was the second highest rated player on defense. He was 86. This is a shocker. I didn't notice this while watching the game, and he only had one. You know what? Now it makes perfect sense because he only had 11 snaps. So sometimes these ratings are the highest ranking player in that particular game. It's a little skewed because I think they should have it where the person qualifies. But anyways, D Winters was 85.5, but he only had 11 snaps. But Diamador Lenore, let's say this, 76.6 was his rating, 61 snaps. Fred Warner right below him at 72.8. So that rounds out what we saw from the defense. And Bosa was looking pretty good in my opinion too. You're muted, brother.
How many pressures did Bosa have?
I don't have it listed, but I just noticed he was making his presence felt while I was watching the game. Actually, I think I see it here. It said he had a game high 6 pressures. There you go. For both teams, and as he had the second highest pass rushing grade in the game, 74.5. So definitely could not hate on it. But the best pass rushing grade that a lot of people aren't talking about, and I didn't necessarily notice it all that much during the game. I have noticed him during points of the season though, and I do like him as a player. Is Malik Collins, 79.5 was his pass rusher rate. So he got 5 pressures on 31 snaps. So I thought that was pretty impressive.
Let me see what PFF has for Malik Collins.
Yeah. Gonna read some comments really, really quick. Oh, go ahead.
You know that Pooney ranked 9th amongst. Now I'm gonna mess this up. So let me go back.
Go ahead. That's
he ranked 9th amongst out of 535 snaps played so far. He ranked 9th out of 110 guards. He has a 76.1 overall grade, 12th overall, right? He has a 70 pass blocking grade, 29th overall. And dude's run blocking grade is 73.3, 17th. It's not bad, bro.
Yeah,
One
he's
penalty.
Mm-hmm.
One penalty. 34th overall. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, just imagine if we drafted another offensive lineman, how much crazier it could have been. But
but I mean, you know what? But the thing is, what if we did and homeboy didn't? Said player doesn't play out, right? Like Pooney wasn't even supposed to be this, right?
Oh yeah.
Like, who knew? Who knew that Pooney would be this? He would be ranked top 15 overall, bro. That's insane. Okay, so on to Malik. Let's see.
Malik.
Malik.
I give you hell for these names.
I know. I
It's
don't
all
even
good.
know
I do it out
where
of
do you
fun.
find the phonetics in this? I don't understand. How do you know this?
Okay, so you gotta remember these.
You're watching them on
these are Middle East.
television?
These are Middle Eastern names too at the same time.
That's
But
true.
keep in mind,
That's true.
I do read and write in Arabic. So in the language, when you read and write, everything's phonetic. Everything's only pronounced one way in regards to how you write it. But you write it in the Latin alphabet when we speak English. And there is a name Malik and there is a name Malik. They're two separate names.
Mhm.
But he personally said it's Malik. So I was like, oh, that's how I knew. Yeah. We got Dan the Corman up in the house. Good to see you. Big Niner fan says, yo, great to see you, man. John Lynch says Pooney hasn't given up a sack since high school. I love that.
That's a phenomenal stat, dude.
No way,
Holy
really?
shit.
He didn't give up
That
any
is
sacks.
phenomenal.
Okay, yeah, I wanted him to tackle too because you know how bad I wanted to tackle. Everybody knows that. But I'm definitely happy seeing him McGarry. I'm not going to complain too much. I just wish McKivitz was a lot better than he is. But I'll say this: didn't look too bad this last game, and points at times in the Chiefs game he wasn't as bad as I thought he'd be. I'm being very diplomatic about it, but if there's games where this is how I know that McKivitz has a really, really bad game. If I'm like close to throwing something at the TV, or if I'm cussing and I'm yelling and screaming about McKivitz, that's how I know he's doing really, really bad. That's my barometer.
Here's the thing. Is it outside of the realm of possibility? And John, this is a question for you too, that they couldn't transition him to tackle, let's say, a season from now or two. You know what I'm saying? He seems versatile.
I'm sorry, brother. I had myself on mute. Yeah, I mean, I think you're talking about Pooney. I mean, we'll see. Time will tell.
Yeah,
I mean,
just
they were even
just
talking
depending
about
on what moves they make throughout the future. Could you transition Pooney to tackle?
I wouldn't be surprised.
He seems that the Niners draft you if you're versatile at some capacity or another. Unless you just bust out and they just have no use for you, then that's that. But I was curious about that. You're on mute.
I'm on mute. Sorry about that, everybody. I was going to say, surprisingly, Jake Brendel was the 49ers' highest graded offensive lineman. Now, again, these are for PFF, so I'm not going to say that they're set in stone or anything like that. I know sometimes PFF doesn't go with the right off the bat. They don't necessarily go with the all 22 footage because that's not released yet. So sometimes they put out ratings based on what they see on the TV broadcast, so to speak. But
they got to do this. Collins' run defense grade is absolutely booty.
Who are you talking about? Oh, Malik Collins against the run. Yeah. He's been inconsistent with that stuff. I'm telling you, man. I wish he was a bit more consistent. They're trying to work Evan Anderson a bit. I'm just gonna round out the whole offensive line really, really quick.
Go ahead.
So basically, this was Brendel's second highest rated game of the season, and tackle Trent Williams followed with a 65.5 grade. Neither of them allowed a pressure during the game, surprisingly. And the only guys who did allow pressure is Banks allowed 2, and Colin McKivitz gave up 2 pressures. Pooney gave up 1 pressure. As far as the running backs go, Kyle Juszczyk, the Juice is Loose, earned the highest run blocking grade of the game, 88.8. So not bad for Juice right there. I'll tell you what disappoints me about Juice. Because funny comment. This is what disappoints me about Juice, because for years since we've had him, right? Well, what's been the moniker? Oh, he's the best fullback in the NFL, right? Everybody says that. And I'll watch it from time to time. I'm like, okay, well, I guess it's kind of by default because teams barely run fullbacks anymore, right? Now, can he block his ass off? Yes. I really like the way he blocks. Can't complain about that. Does he have hands? Yes. And is he just good receiver in general? Yes. He's not going to scare teams receiving wise, but he's a decent guy you could throw to from every now and then. I wouldn't mind seeing them throw to him more in the red zone since we had all these issues in the red zone. But that's where I'm going with this. So with the struggles we had in the red zone, and Jordan Mason at points before that injury, he was balling, right? Anybody can agree to that. He was balling, but not in the red zone. So, and the word is just like, hey, well, Mason's not running that like a real power runner when it comes to the red zone, right? And he's just kind of tippy toeing once we get close. I don't know why he was tippy toeing a bit. But my thing is just like, okay, well, you have this best fullback in the NFL, right? Kyle Juszczyk. Why aren't we powering him up the middle with him? It might be sound predictable or whatever, but hey, he's that power runner. Or even Patrick Taylor, right? Patrick Taylor, from what I kept hearing, is a pretty good power runner. He's got a tackle breaking ability. We weren't running him in the red zone, and the only reason why I'm not bringing up Garendo because I just felt like maybe the team thought Garendo was too green at the time because we were barely using him. Obviously it's a different story now. We'll get into Garendo a little bit more, but the red zone struggles have been. I mean, we're at the halfway point in the season right now. And the red zone struggles are definitely something I didn't expect. It's been a major thorn in our side this season in terms of like what the letdowns have been. At the break, 4-4, so to speak. But what's your take on that? You can talk about Garendo. We can jump into that as well since we're talking running backs.
Wait, repeat the question again. I was
I was talking about the 49ers red zone woes with them. John Lynch, you're 100% right. Kyle Juszczyk is definitely not Lance Alstott. Mike Alstott, sorry. And he needs to be used. I would like him as a second tight end. I would love him as a second tight end because when has Kittle had a really good or a decent second tight end? Not even really good, just a decent second tight end that we can rely on the passing game. Never. I mean, Dwelly from time to time, but we didn't really use him.
Dwelly had good hands, but I mean, outside of that, he couldn't block or.
He couldn't block for shit. Couldn't block for shit.
So the question was something about the red zone. Go ahead. Tell me what.
How about the red zone woes with Mason and this team in general running the ball? And I was gonna segue into Garendo, but you could talk about Garendo.
Well,
real quick.
I mean, 3 visits to the red zone, and they all ended in field goals, right? So.
We scored. Brock ran one in. Guerrero ran one in, and Brock threw one to Kittle. So we actually did score touchdowns.
Maybe it was that was the third quarter, which was
okay.
That was I think that was in the third
talking
quarter,
about the first half. You're talking
about the first half was we opened the game.
Niner game this season was the first.
I mean, kind of like a typical Niner game this season has been kind of booty. We've been starting off so slow, bro. But nonetheless, look, this season we're moving up the field at a faster rate than we did last season, but we're finishing in the red zone. Yeah, it's worse. It's far worse. Now that said, the third quarter of this particular game was the bar for the entire season last season, right? I mean, the third quarter of this game was probably one of the best games I've seen Brock move the ball up the field. Right? Outside of bust out Patriots and whatever. I don't know, bro. The red zone has to get better in the second half of this season.
Oh yeah.
It has to get better. But for this game, Garendo was great. Kittle had a great game. But like I said, Garendo's getting 6 yards a carry. We haven't seen 6 yards a carry since, Elijah Mitchell he was averaging 6.2, 6.3 yards a carry when he was healthy. Mason's just been looking kind of stagnant after that shoulder injury.
Yeah.
He's not, bro, he's running and his vision is just, he steps to the side. He does a sidestep thing, which I know he's protecting his shoulder at that point, but he's losing momentum when he does it. Do you know exactly what I'm talking about?
I didn't notice this so much in this past game, but I'm sure you. Yeah,
he would be running. He would be running. He'd be shooting for a gap, and he would just take this sidestep, and he would lose momentum, and he'd get blown up, and it just wasn't working. Like he was running through. Like if he was going for the gap, he would run through it with power. Now it looks like he's just, I don't know, dude. He just doesn't look the same.
Yeah. Hopefully with the bye week with the extra rest time. I don't have the injury list in
I
front
mean,
of me.
an
But I'll probably
AC
pull it up
joint is
quickly.
nothing to fucking. The AC joint is nothing to take lightly, bro. Like that injury takes time. It takes time. They're not giving him time. They're not giving him time.
I got you.
Use Patrick Taylor more.
Yeah. It
You
would
know
be
what I'm
nice.
saying?
I think we gave him a couple of carries, if I'm not mistaken. And I heard a lot of good things out of him coming out of camp. And he literally had the ball twice for 4.5 a pop, which isn't too bad. I'm sure getting the ball more. Now let's run Debo less. I hate seeing him as a running back unless we run him on those jet sweeps where he has space and he has room, similar to how we ran on Pearsall in that one run for 39 yards, which was awesome. Guerrero, I do want to talk about though because I've been hyping this guy up since we drafted him. I wasn't saying he was going to be God's gift to running backs or anything like that, but my hype was coming from the simple fact that in the Kyle Shanahan era, or you can go back to the Harbaugh era too. You can go back pretty far with the 49ers in general. When did the 49ers ever get a height, weight, speed guy on offense, let alone a running back? It's very rare we get those type of players, right? Now, he wasn't a big time superstar coming out of college. He had about 800 and some odd yards coming out last year. And he only had one 100-yard game last year. It was in the bowl game that they lost to USC. What up, Warowski? See you, brother. Said keep Ronnie Bell in bed. Yeah, get Ronnie Bell off the team as far as I'm concerned. I wanted him off a while back. But now that we're acclimating Garendo a bit more because of the Jordan Mason injury, and I want Jordan Mason to be back exactly what he was early in the season. I'm pretty sure he can get there.
Me
There's
too.
times where
Me too.
Jordan Mason is really explosive and a lot of fun to watch. I don't know why some people say he's slow or he's just a different type of runner than Garendo, but he has a really nice burst in my opinion. But if CMC's coming back from what they say, right? So I mean, we might have like a three-headed monster on our hands, dude. And Garendo with that crazy height, weight, speed, he looked really stiff early on. People were ragging on him, saying he doesn't have, natural running back type skills or natural running back type ability. Dude, he's learning fast, man. At least from what I saw in that Cowboys game, I don't know if it's Bobby Turner.
It is Bobby
teaching him.
Turner. I was just going to say, Bobby Turner is really working with the kid. You could tell he's changed a great deal. He's adapting.
He even knows how to hold the ball properly. Where he holds the ball really high, and then you watch him on that goal line run. He protects the ball very, very well. But man, when he turns that corner, dude, especially late in games when we could use him in those situations where teams kind of tire out a bit, and he doesn't. Of course, obviously, he's not a bell cow, right? We don't need him to be the bell cow. But man, that change of pace is really nice. And with that size, he doesn't go down easy, man. He was stiff arming people. I think he had at one point he had like a back-to-back 19-yard run, I think a 25-yard run, like back-to-back or something like that.
Yeah, it was great, dude.
I forgot how many yards exactly. And then the run at the end. I just wish like if I'm him and I get that big burst of speed and I'm running for 30 yards, some odd yards, I'm diving for that end zone. But he's always sliding, and I guess the coaches keep telling him to slide, and it just doesn't. It's more fun when you just dive in the end zone and score. I don't know.
I think the last one he was supposed to score. This one they wanted him to slide, though. This one they wanted him to go down. That said, I mean, look, bro. Since Mostert left this team, we have been missing that outside. We haven't been able to execute that outside zone run the way we wanted to, right? I mean,
even with CMC, we haven't really been able to do it.
I mean,
not that much. I mean,
maybe I don't know. I'm not going to say. I'd be wrong if I said so. But with Garendo's speed, it's crazy. It's crazy to see this kid, like, the angle. I was watching Kruger, and I saw where they slowed down that run where he broke out, had a stiff arm, bro.
I saw that.
It was dope. It was dope. Like, it's good to see that, man, because I mean, we haven't had speed at the running back position since Mostert. That speed, right? So I don't know, man. I pray that when we get back CMC, he's okay, man. Like, so far so good, knock on wood, man. He hasn't had any setbacks. And it would just be amazing to have a three-headed monster, bro. It'd be dope. I mean, it'd be so dope.
What we're gonna see CMC help us the most, because we've been doing okay running the ball, not bad. But we all know that when he steps into the passing game, he's just going to open things up for Purdy and all the other receivers, and that's going to be a lot of fun to watch. Let me say what's up to We got Sports High Podcast in the mix. What's up, bro? Says, what's up, Faithful? Just got off work eating some Chick-fil-A in the parking lot. You parking lot pimping? I hope you're running into some girls trying to get some numbers or something, man. Or you just having a good time, having a good time munch on that chicken sandwich. Listen to us, getting your ear. Thank you. He said hit the like button, throwback. Appreciate that. Hit the subscribe button. Also, if you're not subscribed to the Locker Room Rant, John V's channel, check it out. It's in the description box of this video. And Sports High Podcast says, am I crazy to think if we keep winning, we should rest CMC as long as we can? Having a fresh CMC come back a few games before the playoffs would be great. I'd welcome that. Honestly, like I was thinking in the back of my head, like, before they even announced when these guys would be healthy, I was like, dude, if we could have Green somehow get in playoff contention and have Greenlaw and CMC ready by December, and then I mean ready, not just half-assed thing where you don't know if they're going to be ready to go or not. I mean, that's one excellent reinforcement on defense and on offense, either way. And I think they're probably of equal talent and equal impact on the team, if you ask me.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you want to ramp them up, though. You want to give them some time, right, to get acclimated to the game. You don't want to bring them back too close to the playoffs, and then I think that's the most difficult part to all of this, is just getting these guys ramped up to pace, right? They're going to be coming back in the second half of the season when most everybody is pretty much mid-season form, right? Their bodies have developed that quote unquote callus, so to speak, but look, I mean, it is what it is. I think I'm going to be holding my breath every time I see CMC take a snap, just because we know what's at stake here. You don't want to see him rupture an Achilles. We don't really know how Kyle's going to, like, is he going to be naturally? He's going to be limited, right? But to what capacity? Because McCaffrey's the type of player that, he demands that ball in his hands. Despite what you want, despite what you plan for him, he wants the rock, bro. And I love that about him. But I also believe in protecting him, because this is I mean, look, I think he's been working these last few weeks, maybe like 3 weeks. And I've been hearing that, and reading that, like, he's been doing well without any setbacks. So if that's the case, the idea is to get him back as soon as possible. Gross Matos, who else? Givens.
Those are two good guys. And who knows, we may pick somebody up, right? The trade deadline hasn't hit yet. And, so there's all kinds of rumors being thrown around. Supposedly the Niners are on the phone trying to make deals. I'm going to set the bar really, really low. I'm not going to be like, I'm not going to be all mad if certain players make it to other teams or if we didn't make any moves. But if we do make a move, of course, I'll obviously welcome it. Now, I don't want them to splurge and just give up all kinds of crazy picks for somebody who's not worth it. But if we do give up whatever picks for the right player that could really, really put us over the top, and lo and behold, it does, the LA Rams, so to speak, right? They're pretty good at doing that. Let's do it. I'd welcome it too. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, I like Evan Anderson as an undrafted free agent at D tackle. I'd like to see more of him. Elliott's been a bit of disappointment though, right? And I mentioned them.
I like him. I like Elliott.
They're throwing Buckner's name out there. I don't want to get people too excited, but they're throwing Buckner's name out there.
Buckner's been injured a lot, bro. He's been injured a lot this season. But for me, I like Jordan Elliott. I think he's also been struggling with injury, but I like Jordan Elliott. I like him. I like him. Let's see where he grades. But ultimately, look, the way that John Lynch seems to be talking, he doesn't really seem like he's that I don't know. He doesn't seem to be that motivated. And I feel like that 4-4 record is kind of like, I don't know, bro. Like, you're not quite a buyer. You're not selling, but you're not quite buying either, right? So at 4-4, you hope to see, like, okay, who do you want to see? Who would you like them to pick up, Bash?
I mean, that's a good question. I mean, I don't know what pass rusher would be available, but I was thinking some type of star pass rusher because I don't like what I see in Leonard Floyd.
I mean, I don't know.
He's,
You're going to get star power,
yeah,
but you
exactly. I
might
mean,
get
who's
like
really
you might get a
available?
Clowney. You might get a Clowney,
Hmm.
right? I know that's not like, but he's serviceable.
I mean,
Probably better than Leonard Floyd.
who was that team that traded for the offensive lineman? There was some offensive lineman that got traded. It was the Vikings that
Oh,
made
the
this.
Jaguars traded
Yeah.
their center Robinson to
Well, there
the
was another guy. There was a tackle. There was a left tackle that was
or
traded. I mean, if you ask me, sure, I'd love to get a right tackle in the mix with the 49ers, right?
maybe he
Or
was the tackle. Is Robinson the tackle?
it was somebody. Cam Robinson. Cam Robinson. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
not
Jaguar.
center. He's a tackle, right?
Yeah, he's a tackle. Mhm. The
Okay,
Vikings
okay, he's a
acquired
tackle.
Cam Robinson. Okay. Yeah, because Christian Darrisaw had a season-ending injury.
That's right. That's right. Darisaw went down. Yes, yes,
Wow.
yes, yes.
Wow. Okay. Let me see what's up to this guy. I don't know if he's a new guy to the channel. I don't recognize him, but he says, "God bless you all and your family and friends on your channel. Appreciate you, man. We really, really appreciate you, man.
Appreciate
And
that,
thanks to
David.
you, brother.
We do.
Yeah, never seen you
Let us
before.
know
If
how
you're
you
new to the
found.
channel.
Let us know how you found the channel, man.
Yeah, if you're new, hit the like and subscribe button. You can also hit the like and subscribe button on John V. The Locker Room Rants channel as well. I do have that linked in the description box of this video. And can we get Draymond Green for us offensive line? You know what? To me, Draymond Green. I mean, a lot of people say it, and I was saying it way back because I'm a Niner fan, and Dre Greenlaw. As much as I love Fred Warren, Dre Greenlaw is my favorite linebacker on the team. And I used to say that he reminded me of Draymond Green, the way he'd get himself into trouble and get penalized. But yeah, he's that enforcer that you have on the team, and we need some type of swag, some grit, some type of mean on our defense right now. That would definitely help. I want to get into this really quick. I want to share a little video because the penalties really, really killed us from time to time. I mean, imagine a 49er game with clean of penalties, maybe like one or two penalties tops. Wouldn't that be a beautiful thing? Those are drive killers. We were talking about the red zone earlier. And the reason why I wanted to share this video was like, if there's one play so far from the from the first half of the season that I wish we could get back, it's this play right here. I'm going to play it.
None of them have lived up to those numbers. Jordan Mason back in. That's the fake to him, and that's Deebo Samuel with a flag down. Samuel down the sideline, accelerates to the end zone for a touch. None of them have lived up to those numbers.
Sorry about that. These penalties are, dude. I was cussing, dude. I was cussing about Bill Vinovich and the refs. I know. Oh, don't complain about the refs, and that's so old cliche. I'm sorry, dude. Well, I'm sorry. When I watch my games and I see big plays happen or drive killers, and it's that same bozo clown of a ref that's reffing our games and messing us up, I'm going to speak on it. I'm going to cuss. I'm going to get mad. I'm going to get angry.
There were some trash calls this game here, bro. I mean, there were some bad ones. Vinovich rears his ugly head when you least expect it. I'm not a fan of Vinovich, man. Not from the 2019 Super Bowl, not from Vegas. However, I was holding my breath. I was literally holding my breath down the stretch because I mean, we were playing some great, man, and I thought, you know what, dude, please don't call pass interference. Please don't call pass interference. But
at the end of the game, at the end of the game.
Oh yeah.
I was like that desperation shot.
I was like, if he could stick it to the Niners, it's going to be soon. Right.
That would have hurt really, really bad had he gotten us on that one.
I do agree with John Lynch though. That was a clear hold. That hold was,
you can see that play,
it was clear and obvious.
It was a clear hold, but that it's just the accumulation of all the horrible calls, and then when there's clear holds on Bosa, do we ever get the call? I mean, very, very seldomly we do.
No, but you know what though? You're not gonna TJ Watt's not gonna get that call. Garrett's not gonna get that call. I mean, if you're an elite pass rusher in this league, you're not getting those calls. I watch these games week in, week out. My wife being a diehard Browns fan, I see Garrett getting absolutely manhandled. I mean, to the point where like, you're going to injure this man. These guys are, and at that point, and they don't say shit. They don't say a word. And if I'm Bosa, Garrett, or Watt, I'm saying, look, call something. Like, if you got me spun around in a chokehold, you better fucking call something. especially in the Super Bowl. That shit pissed me off to the point where the
Both
holds
Super
on
Bowls.
Bosa.
Both Super
I mean,
Bowls.
but in Vegas, bro, I'm not one to, I don't want to be the guy to bitch about holds, but some of them were just, atrocious, bro. You fucking have him spun around, choked backwards, bro. It's crazy to me. It's crazy. Bosa was they're egregious shit. But nonetheless, we could use some interior, you know. If I'm being honest, I think the Browns want a decent third for Zadarius Smith. They also have Dalvin Tomlinson, who could probably contribute a lot. That would be pretty great because I think they chose Tomlinson over Jordan Elliott in Cleveland. But I mean, Elliott was going to be a starter in Cleveland regardless if they could move him.
I remember you were telling me Jordan Elliott had himself a really nice season last year because you said you watched all the Browns games and you were trying to sell me on Jordan Elliott when we signed him initially.
I mean, under Schwartz, he was doing really well. Now, I mean, again, here he's been injured, so we haven't really got a lot. You know, his run defense is decent, but here his pass rush has been probably 50s, probably graded in the 50s. We could look it up and find out. His run defense has been solid, but his pass rush has been less to be desired.
Maybe the UDFA Evan Anderson steps up and possibly gets more reps at D tackle, especially in the run, more on the rundowns. And the same probably goes for Kalia Davis, right? It would be nice to see those guys step up. Somebody needs to step up.
It'd be nice to see Kalia just get healthy and stick around. Period.
Yes. Well, he did play the last game. He didn't have that many snaps, but he definitely played. He didn't do too well in terms of his rating this past game though. I've seen him in other games make plays here and there. One guy I do want to talk about though, and I'm going to post on the screen really quick.
Yeah, John, I agree.
Aaron,
DJ Jones.
Hey fellas, what up, Aaron? 49ers First Takes.
What's going on?
The guy's YouTube channel. He's just on with Raj. I was watching him before we started here. Want to say this guy's name? I put it in the chat so people know how to pronounce it. Usually, I was saying Samo during the game to my friends when I was sending them little voice messages. So let's all say it together. Number 91, Sam.
Okuwanu.
Saying
it to you, saying it to you. I sent you the phonetics.
But it doesn't stick with me. It doesn't stick with me though. That's the problem because when I see his name spelled, it has a Y and all this other crap in it. But he deserves to have his name said right. He had a sack. Didn't play too much, but the little he was out there, he was impactful. And when he had that sack, actually, if you go back and watch it, they ran him as a D tackle in the pass rush. They're doing that NASCAR type stuff that we were doing with that one guy that we had. I forgot his name. He used to be on the Niners. Arden Key, right? So, I mean, yep. Sam is built. He looks the part when you just see him physically. He's built like Tarzan, right? And he's been a guy who's bounced around the league. So I'm glad that we can possibly develop and get something out of him. And Larry Krueger was actually saying that he thinks that Sam should be the starting defensive end over Leonard Floyd. So we'll see how that plays out. And he's actually a DN, but we did run him inside on that play because we had Leonard Floyd on the outside. But whatever works, man. I noticed
Floyd hasn't done shit. He's been so.
You know what he does? He does just enough so he doesn't get benched. It's like the bare minimum, which in my opinion doesn't cut it. If you got somebody like Sam breathing down his neck from week 9 onwards, we should just play him over him and be like, okay, Leonard Floyd, you want to get playing time? Well, we're going to play this guy ahead of you, and maybe that will burn some fire in Leonard Floyd's heart, or whatever. It's something, man, something to get him excited.
Yeah, because it's not happening, dude. He's not doing anything for me. He's not giving. Like, I thought that he was going to be just enough to give Bosa that help on the other side. But the truth is, once we flush them out, we're not getting pressure on the inside. So we need pressure on the inside. In a sense, John Lynch is right. Like, if they're not targeting a pass rusher, an edge, then they definitely need someone to replace Hargrave at some capacity. You need to go after someone. Ojolari's out there. You can get Zadarius Smith. You can go after Dalvin Tomlinson. The Browns probably don't want to give him up, but he's probably, if we're going after a team, if we're looking for sellers right now, we're probably trying to get Dalvin Tomlinson, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, I got you. What was I going to say? I was going to say, my mind totally went blank. I was going to.
I mean, Gross Matos is supposed to come back too, so let's see what we get.
Exactly. Yeah. Gross Matos,
right. if Hargrave can get healthy and can make an appearance in the postseason, that's a bonus too.
Yeah, I mean, now I totally remember what I was going to say because you mentioned Hargrave, and Yetur Gross-Matos isn't a stellar pass rusher by any stretch of the imagination. He's kind of so-so, but he's a pretty decent run stopper. He can set the edge. So, having him in the mix, a lot of people were complaining about Bosa's production this year. I don't think he's doing too bad, but I just think we'd see a whole lot more out of him as if we could rest him more and run a rotation. I think we'd see a much more dominant Bosa in certain stretches.
But he's dominating, bro. He's impacting the game.
Oh, yeah, he's
and nice. if these sack watchers out there are not satisfied, then that is what it is. He is impacting the game, and if they don't understand at what capacity, then they're not paying attention.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I mean Bosa, he's not going to have the most dominant game in and game out, but he definitely makes his presence felt. Yeah, so we mentioned Hargrave. Well, I was gonna say, like, I had something on my screen as like, what are the biggest letdowns so far of this the halfway point of the season, right? Because there's a lot of excitement going into the season, like, hey, I know we lost the Super Bowl, but we brought in all this new talent in terms of the rookie class. They might pan out, and we brought in some guys as far as free agents goes, and the big contract with that. You obviously the big, the elephant in the room, the obvious one is low-hanging fruit, as they say, is Brandon Ayuk and his holdout and his contract. And next thing you know, he's dropping passes at the start of the season, drops a big pass in the Kansas City Chiefs game that could have been made a pretty big impact in that point in the game. You name it. It's been, one good game against the Cardinals. One great game, actually. He had excellent, like 170 reception yards. But other than that, I mean, all the money thrown out there. And I just feel like this season's been such a letdown in terms of all the money we're paying out for certain players who aren't on the damn field. Hargrave being one of them, obviously. So if we get him back sometime playoff time, that's a new thing, right? They're saying that they may have him back before the playoffs. Yeah, John, I agree. He's not good against the run, and he is pretty nice against the pass, but we need to get some damn miles out of him. Love to see Greenlaw back. Greenlaw's one of my favorite players. It's been annoying, and it's been a letdown that CMC and Greenlaw haven't been. Now we knew Greenlaw wasn't going to come back anytime soon because from the Super Bowl, but the CMC thing came as a surprise, right? We gave him that little extension and pay raise, and next thing you know, he hasn't really been he hasn't been around.
Yeah.
he flew all the way to Germany for stem cell research.
What a coincidence! But I mean, with the contract, with the guaranteed money.
Oh my gosh, dude, it's crazy.
And then he has all this
money piled into things that we aren't even using.
I'll send him my Achilles tendons. I'll send him in a shoebox. I have no problem.
Maybe they should just dig up a 20 corpse. Years. Dig up like a young corpse of a 20-year-old man, and just somehow attach a new tendon for him. Something, I don't know. I'm assuming they do that stuff from cadavers. Let's see. Hargrave was the worst free agent we possibly have ever done. BA should have been traded. You know what? Yeah, they were trying to work a trade for BA. The last rumor I heard that I thought would have been a really nice one. A lot of people kind of agree with me on this. Different style player, but Cortland Sutton for Brandon Ayuk I would have taken. The thing is, the Broncos didn't want any part of that, so it is what it is. We didn't get the trade in. I mean, he got hurt.
They're and rightfully so. Rightfully so. They're winning over there. They got a good defense. You know what I mean? They're trying to get that. They're trying to get it. They're trying to get it right. But there's other. I don't know that receiver is necessarily something that the Niners really need to. Outside of the fact that Conley can't block for shit upfield. Drives me kind of crazy. But receiver right now, I don't think they need receiver. I think really it's the interior. They need to get someone that can stuff the run, And I'm looking at Okinawu's grades, and against the pass rush, he's 39th, and he's 70. He graded at 70.2, and his run defense was 62.3. He's got 3 sacks, 3 assists, 1 forced fumble, 7 solo tackles. I mean, that's the thing. Like, do they believe that they have all the pieces in-house and they're not going to try to blow our socks off and try to go trade for a Lawrence or an Ojulari or Zadarius Smith? Maybe they just, maybe John Lynch is just not aggressive. Maybe he's just not feeling it. They're ultimately, they want to bring someone into the fold that can be here for longer than a season, So maybe they're, how old's Lawrence, John Lynch?
Who's the Lawrence player he's speaking of? I didn't see his comment.
From the,
he's still going on about Hargreaves in chat. He said Trent Williams is not having the season people think. Yeah, they're, especially in the Chiefs game, right? Trent Williams needs to have, if we ever play the Chiefs again when it matters, Trent Williams needs to be on top of his damn games. I'm tired of seeing him.
How many pressures does he have this year? Like 12, 14?
I'm not sure how many total. I don't have that information, but
he's
yeah, he had a good game this last game though, but we'll see how it goes with him. What I want to mention was George Kittle, National Tight Ends Day, right? As silly as goofy as it sounds, George, I'm not one to look up people's career stats or anything like that, but he obviously had himself hell of a game in this game, over 100 yards, had himself a touchdown. He brought back that run after the catch type stuff that he was doing early on in his career, right? We saw a little bit more of that this past game, which was really, really nice. So he's actually third in 49er history in all-time receiving yards. He's right behind T.O. actually. Well, not right behind him, but T.O. obviously has more. But I mean, 777 yards for Kittle in his career as a 49er. That's pretty badass, dude. That's some really good company. Think of all the great offensive players that played in the 49er uniform, and Jay Rice and T.O. right behind him is George Kittle. So it's pretty obvious, even though he doesn't have the rings, so to speak. But if you're going to say, like, who's the greatest 49er tight end in 49er history, obviously it's got to be Kittle. Also, he eclipsed 500 yard receptions for his career. And that's basically, it's only 5 other Niners. It's only 5 49er players that have hit the 500 yard mark, 500 catch mark, that is. One of them is Roger Craig, Jay Rice, obviously, T.O., and I'm missing somebody else. Maybe I can go pull that up really, really quick. But yeah, what do you think about George Kittle on National Tight End Day? I know it sounds like some bogus thing that people make up, but they were hyping it up before the game, and they were saying like, "Oh, well, the tight ends around the league today all had really nice games," and they said, "Oh, well, assuming which tight end balls out today, we're going to give them a wrestling belt and go from there or whatever." So I was like, damn, that'd be pretty embarrassing. George Kittle is the founder of National Tight End Day, and here he goes. He loses. We lose the game. He doesn't have a good game, and the Cowboys tight end, I believe it's Ferguson, gets the damn little wrestling belt. You can argue whether those belts look cheap or not. I'm not going to argue about that, but it's just kind of funny. And what do you think about Kittle overall, and his overall performance and his
it was awesome.
new milestones that he hit?
I thought it was awesome. I mean, what would a Cowboys game be without Kittle dominating? He had some really great catches, dude. Like 3 touchdowns, right? He had 3 touchdowns? 2.
I know he had at least 1. It felt like he had 2 though. No, Purdy only threw 1 touchdown. Purdy only threw 1 touchdown. He only had 1. He ran 1 in, he threw 1.
Okay.
And Purdy was running a whole lot too, right? We didn't talk about that. We didn't talk about Purdy too much. But
that's because we didn't. That's because Purdy was a different quarterback coming out of half.
Mm-hmm,
it was entirely different. He looked entirely different in the first half to the third quarter. Something changed in that locker room, and I don't understand why at one point, Brock has this Jimmy-esque fucking, I don't know, dude. He was starting to do shit that was annoying me. Did a lot in the Chiefs game, right? He was doing stupid shit. The Chiefs game, like, look, versus the best defense in the league, I'm not sweating it. I'm not sweating it as much. But frankly, I thought he looked worse in the first half of the Cowboys game than most of the Chiefs game. Now, I'll be a casual. We look, I mean, that's a casual take, fine. You can shoot me. You can shoot me at sunrise. But he didn't look nearly as, he was very indecisive in the Chiefs game. In the Cowboys game, he just looked sloppy. Dropping the ball, that pissed
when he
me
did that
off.
when he was trying to do that pump fake, because we've seen him fumble a few times in the pocket this year.
Yeah.
And it's been really irritating to see that, or passes get batted down in key situations. Like we got to be more careful with the football. I'm sorry.
It pissed me off. I mean, at that point, I was so uncomfortable. I'm like, there's no way you could pay this guy $50 million. Fuck $60 million. You can't pay this guy $50 million. What is happening right now? What is happening? Why does Brock not look like the fucking spicy, amped up, just, the version of Brock that we saw last season? He looks so, I don't know, bro. Call it a Super Bowl hangover. I didn't even fucking believe in that shit before the season started. But then I'm looking at the season and I'm like, Jesus Christ, the adversity that this team has to overcome. Look at Mooney Ward. My God, he lost his 1-year-old dude. Like unexpected death. That was crushing.
I forgot to even bring that up. I forgot to bring that up. That's really, really important. Aaron and I touched on that. Prayers out to the Ward family. That's just horrible. His daughter had Down syndrome, from what I recall reading in the article, and I don't know exactly
defect.
That's what it was. And a heart. Okay.
Well, yeah. I don't know what it was. I don't know what happened, but it was unexpected, and it was just unimaginable for any of you with kids out there. Life is precious.
No parent should ever bury their child.
My God, dude, it's just, I don't know, man. Just, I can't even, I don't know, bro. I can't. I at a loss for words. It's something that absolutely no parent should ever, have to bury a 1-year-old. And I don't know, bro. Just, it's a sensitive subject, man. It's tough. I hate it, So, my condolences to the Cook and Ward family. I can't imagine, man. That's tough. It's tough, bro.
Definitely. Jeez, man. We've had this happen to a few other players in the past too, if I'm not mistaken. I know the Goodwin thing happened, but I'm forgetting. I could have sworn it happened to another player in the past 2 or 3 years. I could be wrong, but
yeah.
I know it happened to somebody, and I just can't think of who it was. And I hate to forget such things.
No. No, it should be spoken for. I mean, it matters. It matters.
What's up, Dre Air Sports? He says, "What's up, Basher?" A lot of people call me Basher when they see my name. So I think some people do it to call me. They know my name's Bashar, but they call me Basher as a nickname, which is fine, or they could call me Bash. I'm perfectly fine when people call me Bash, but some people actually think my real name is Basher, but it's not. That would be a terrible first name to have. But thank you. What's up, Dre Area Sports? I had him on before.
No, but what this team has endured, between injuries.
Oh yeah, all the stuff off the
field. It's insane. It's like, but this team responds to sparks, right? Back against the wall, all those things. Like there's a spark that I'm looking for in this season. And there's a spark in Brock that I'm looking for, specifically Brock right now. More than anything right now, something has Brock looking less that hyped up, motivated, the kid that was jumping up and down and going nuts. That's not the Brock we've got this season. Something is different. And it could be the fact that no McCaffrey. It could be the fact that, Ayuk went out. It could be the fact that, all the chemistry that he's developed, essentially he's without quite a few weapons, right? So let's see what happens when we get McCaffrey back.
Oh, that's
And
going to
when we
help a
get
whole
Jennings
lot.
back.
Let's not forget. I mean, Jennings was balling out with Purdy earlier this year, right? Before he got hurt, right? And and Purdy was actually putting up some really, really nice numbers, but it didn't help that certain players on the team on the other side of the ball, or just in general, even on offense, people weren't catching passes from him that were right to him. They're perfect for they were excellent throws, and they were people just dropping passes in key moments. All kinds of weird things were happening. The ball was bouncing a million different ways, and it sucked because we lost, and Purdy was a starting quarterback in those games. But obviously, look at the Chiefs game. There were a few moments, but even before the Chiefs game, that we would have a loss, and like, damn, well, I know Purdy can do way better than this. I know he's way better than this. I know, for the most part, from what I've seen from Purdy, from the Miami Dolphins game till now, this is a $60 million man. But it just sucks because it is a contract year, and there are those Purdy haters who always hated Purdy. They never wanted to give him a chance for whatever weird biases or reasons they have. And it's like, bro, this is your chance to prove all these guys to shut them up, man. Shut up all those dudes, and shut up any doubters in the media, whoever. And then it's like, come on, man, don't lay an egg, dude. We got Nicholas Alcalatis in the house from the Locker Room Rant. He's John V's co-host. He's a Cleveland Browns fan. We were talking about the Browns a little bit earlier with Myles Garrett, and you can go ahead and say hi to your friend there.
The Niners are going to trade Levi Stadium for Myles Garrett.
Okay.
I just want you to know that we're coming for Garrett. At least in my dreams, we're coming for Garrett. I'm trying to talk up Dalvin Tomlinson here on the channel, hoping that maybe the Niners will take a flyer on him. I know you guys want to give up Zadarius Smith for a nice third rounder. We might give you a third rounder for Zadarius Smith. I'd be happy with that. But yeah, Bash. Look, man, Brock looks. My criticisms are a little unwarranted in a sense, because he is without quite a few weapons that he, just not having Ayuk in the proper form, not having CMC, not having Jennings in this past Cowboys game, trying to throw with anticipation to Cowing or Persall or Conley, or as much as it kills me to say this, I'd rather see Ronnie Bell out there than Conley. Conley can't block, bro.
Dude, Conley was so much better last
block.
year. He was good in the Super Bowl, right? And then I don't know. Like, again, I hate to bring up the guy's name, but Terrace Marshall, there's got to be other guys dangling out there who are better than Ronnie Bell. I refuse to believe that Ronnie Bell is good enough to be on this roster with other guys who may possibly be available. Again, I'm going to keep saying Terrace Marshall was better than him. Larry Kruger thought so. A lot of people thought so. I think you were on that list as well.
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, I got you, man. It's just, I don't know. Maybe he didn't, jive well with the team, the coaches. Maybe they just saw him as a one-trick pony. Well, that one trick that he has is a deep threat. Is way better than any deep threat that we have on the squad right now. Sure, there's guys on our team who could possibly go deep, but they're not known as a consistent deep threat that Terrace Marshall was known in Carolina. We got Shabs. What up, bro? I went to high school with him. Good dude. Says, let's go. Time to rally back. Good friend from way back. Good to
What's
see you,
up,
man.
Shabs? Yeah, I definitely I agree with Nick on that. And I agree with Shabs too.
He says if he's a $60 million quarterback, he'll be able to overcome most of those. He's a proven winner in the playoffs. Now he hasn't won the big game.
The market says he's a $60 million quarterback. Yeah. We'll
find out at the end of the season when it's all said and done.
You do have to overcome those obstacles, Nick, but you also have to develop, that chemistry with your rookies that aren't getting first team reps. You know what I'm saying? You need to get those reps with your quarterback so that it, so that you can see it during the games.
John V, can you show them, give them a better view of your hat? It looks pretty cool from the angle that I see that, but I want to see it like more from the front.
You know what hat this is?
Oh, it says NFC champion, right?
That's the 2019.
Oh,
that was the 2019.
Okay. I didn't recognize it.
That's 2019. Same with the with this. I'm
With the hoodie,
I'm
okay,
trying to. You remember this hoodie? The West is not enough.
Yeah, okay. I remember vaguely.
Division champs. I'm trying to channel the second half of the season. I'm trying to, like Shab said, I'm trying to rally. You know, I'm trying to spark this. We need a spark, bro. And I'm very I very much believe I have an impact on these things.
Okay. Yeah. So let me go ahead. I know I was mentioning some stuff about Kittle earlier, and I was unsure what company he was in, so I'll bring it up really quick. So obviously Jerry Rice is the all-time leader in receptions for the San Francisco 49ers. Number 2 is Terrell Owens with 592. Number 3 is Roger Craig with 508. Dwight Clark with 506, and right behind him is George Kittle, 500. Some people were like, "Oh, I'm surprised Vernon Davis isn't on that list." So Vernon Davis is 441. He did eclipse 500, but he was not a 49er at the time he did so. So that's very good company. That's great company to be in. That's excellent. And yeah, as far as the yardage goes, Kittle is number 3 all time in yardage. I mentioned that, and right behind him is Dwight Clark, the great Dwight Clark, known for the catch who springboarded our dynasty. So
Jesus.
yeah, I really
He's in
hope
such good company, bro. Like that's like a Mount Rushmore of receptions, bro.
Exactly.
It's awesome. It's fucking awesome. I love it.
Yeah. Is there anything that you wanted to cover really quick? Because I have one more question, and then we're gonna call it a night. And anything that we didn't cover really quick before we get to the last topic?
No, bro. I mean, we have some time here, man. We're in the bye. It's much needed time. We have reinforcements. We have reinforcements on the horizon, dude. And we can make a push. We could probably stand to lose a couple. But I mean, listen, bro. I think the main thing is this. Ricky Pearsall gets involved in the passing game more and more each week with each install, with the design plays, whatever they do. Just involve him, man. Let's see what this kid's got. Let's see what this kid's got, dude. He made some great catches in the Cowboys game. He made some great catches.
He was moving the chains. They weren't exciting type.
No. They weren't
moving the chains.
The jet sweep was exciting.
The jet sweep was the exciting play. Yes,
that was
the
exciting.
Crowd loved it. I wish it was a touchdown.
But whatever he put his hands on, he caught. And take it for what it is. Those are small flashes. You know, it's something to get excited about.
The fact that guys were dropping so many easy passes prior to that in other games. Yeah.
Ayuk.
Yep, him and a few others.
You know, but Debo needs to get his ribs healthy. You know, we need to come out of this bye healthy, Bash, and focused. Period. I want to see this team. This team has a lot of talent coming back. And if they make some moves on at the trade deadline, that's just a bonus. You know?
Yeah, I don't think it's a must, but it would be nice if they made the right trade. You know, it really would be. And
like, imagine Dexter Lawrence. Imagine Dexter Lawrence from the Giants. They're probably not going to give up Dexter Lawrence, but fuck, who knows, dude? Could you imagine that?
Yeah, I could. That'd be nice. I just don't want to get excited. I don't get excited about players who aren't on my team until I have a really strong feeling.
It's a pipe dream at this point.
I know.
A pipe dream. He's not in conversations. You know, you probably have about as you really you really should be talking to the Browns for Zadarius Smith and Ojulari. Those and get over there. Get Clowney. Get his ass here. Couldn't hurt.
We'll see how that plays out. I did want to touch on something really quick. For you Golden State Warrior fans, I'm a big Warriors fan. They're actually up right now, 79-66 on the Pelicans. And the third quarter is about to end, so they're going to head into the fourth quarter pretty soon. They are 3-1. I was talking about them a little bit earlier. I'm going to try to throw in some Warriors shows. I might do one during the bye, for all I know. I'm a huge Warriors fan. I'll just throw that out there. And hold up, we got a comment here. Sports High Podcast says John V looking fly as a motherfucker. I'm sure he appreciates the compliment, but what am I? Chopped liver? I'm not looking fly.
But you're not really harnessing You're not really harnessing the past. The
Uh-oh.
division. The
You know what?
division
If we had a
champs.
Super Bowl shirt, if we had a damn recent Super Bowl shirt or recent Super Bowl hat, I'd wear one, So I don't know. I have an NFC championship hat of some sort from like the Harbaugh era, so to speak. It is what it is, man. Nicholas
Nick, the
Sakalati
Giants
says if
have
it's
to
Aziz,
sell, bro.
Aziz Ojulari, right?
Yeah.
How you say his name?
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to get into this really quick before we get out of here. It's gonna be really, really quick. So obviously we're at the 8-8 point. It's the bye week. What is your grade for the 49ers season? I'll go. You can give yours first if you want.
Offense and defense, or is it a combined?
Or just a total,
an overall,
a total grade. Yeah, a letter score. Like you're in.
All right, I'd say probably a C plus.
C plus. Remember that Christmas story?
Yeah,
you kept saying C plus. That witch teacher. I was saying C. I wouldn't give it a plus because there were just so many stupid, like literally. I mean, even the Chiefs game with Patrick Mahomes and all those damn Super Bowls they won and all their great defense they have. I'm sorry, like most of our losses were just ridiculously stupid losses where we constantly shot ourselves in the foot. So I definitely won't make it a plus. And I was leaning towards making it a C minus, but I'm going to say C. I'll say C.
Well, they get the plus because they won the game. They won a must-win game.
Okay, that's.
I mean, they're 500. They're 500. So I'm giving them the C plus because in that third quarter they really started to really.
They looked like the real 49ers.
They looked good. They looked really good, and essentially that's the quarter that won them this game. Let's not make any mistake. The fourth quarter, we had some stupid mistakes. Players getting hung up. Just gave up too much. We easily left 21 points off the board, easily in the first half. So the Niners, I think the Niners really need to, like I said, they just got to heal. They got to get healthy, bro. Let them get healthy. Reinforcements are on the way. But as of now, dude, I'm giving them a C plus.
Okay, C plus. I'm saying C. If you want to drive your grades in the chat, go ahead. 49ers do play Tampa Bay the next game. I believe it's in Tampa Bay. We played a lot of home games, so by default, it should be a Tampa Bay game. Let's just go over what time it is and when that's coming around, and then we'll call this a night.
Every time we play Tampa Bay, bro, we end up getting them at their weakest. That really pisses
I'll
me
welcome
off.
that. Well, no, that's good. I'll take that. I'll take it. Well, hey, I was at the Tampa Bay game in Candlestick. The only time I've seen Tampa Bay play ever in person. And it was in Candlestick. You're probably going to remember this game very well. A lot of people don't want to remember this game. Mike Singletary was the coach. It was one of his last games as a 49er head coach. And we got spanked. I believe it was 20-0, if I'm not mistaken. We didn't put up any points. I definitely remember that part. LeGarrette Blount was the was the running back for the Tampa Bay Bucks that game. He was having a nice game. Josh Freeman was still the quarterback, if you remember him. That's going way back. And a lot of people were pissed off in the parking lot after that game. That was not a pretty sight. It was not a fun game to go to. That was easily the worst Niner game I've ever attended. One of the worst I've ever attended, actually. Yeah, but the Niners play on Sunday at November 10th in Tampa Bay at 10 a.m. So we're having very few 10 a.m. games this year, and this is one of them at Pacific Standard Time. So it's going to be very, very interesting. Go ahead and tell them about your channel. For those of you guys who aren't subscribed to 49er Minded, hit the like and subscribe button and hit up the description box of this video for John V's channel. I'll tell you all about his channel. And what about Beto's got Niners Real Talk now. I didn't know he Beto put up something on his channel, something like Niners Sickness Podcast shut down or something. I guess it's a name change or a rebranding. I thought something happened to you where you weren't going to talk Niners anymore. So I jumped in your chat a little bit while I was doing the show. I kind of double dipped for a second, but we got a collab again, Beto. I was honest to God. I was telling myself that at one point in time during this week, even last week, when you tell yourself things sometimes you never go about doing it, that's what one of these cases are. Beto's awesome. It's always good having him around in the chat, and we definitely got to start collabing again. Fun guy to go live with. Shab says,
Beto, it's good to see you, bro.
Yeah, Beto's awesome. Shab says, thank you guys. Great hearing your take on the Niners. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. That's my friend from way back. But yeah, go ahead and let them know about the locker room rant and anything else that you have going on, and go right ahead. The floor is yours.
So the Locker Room Rant was a channel that we started, Nick, myself, and our friend Tony. We started the channel, and it was supposed to be basically just our our thoughts and our arguments just based on the league in general. We covered all 32 teams. We talk basketball. We talk some baseball. We talk a lot of shit. We talk life. But nonetheless, we basically get our rant. We just go off on rants. So you can catch us on Tuesdays. Lately it's been Nick and I because Tony's just kind of been dealing with, a newborn and everything that comes with it.
Right?
2 kids, yeah. And he juggles, he is not a multitasker by any means of the imagination. And when it comes to kids, well, he's a great dad, but co-hosting the locker room rant is
Like,
the last thing. It's the last thing that Tony's got on his mind right now.
Just imagine if Tony was watching this. What's up, Tony? I miss you, bro. Tony's awesome, by the way.
He's a good dude, man. But we're missing him. We miss him on the channel. Nick and I
miss you guys on the channel, period, man. If you guys ever need me to jump on there again with you guys, let me know.
Yeah, we need you. We need you just about every Tuesday. So
on a Tuesday,
you just need to get on there and help us out because Nick drives me nuts. There's times that Nick forgets that he is the guy I'm talking to on screen. I'm talking. He's like, "Who you talking to? You. Who else is there to talk to? It's you. I'm talking to you." But yeah, Nick and I, we get into it, man. We get into it. We call it the locker room rant because we get into some heated debates. So check us out. It's not just a Niners podcast. It's not just a Browns podcast. We discuss everything.
Bills,
but we like to dive in. We like to dive into our respected teams a little bit, but for the most part, we like to keep it about just a lot of things. We enjoy it. It's a good time, good conversation. And we invite the chat to come in and give us a topic, shoot a topic out. We'd like to discuss it. We don't. A lot of the times we shoot from the hip. We don't really. It's a neutral conversation. So it's just whatever you guys want to chop up.
Yes, sir. I want to thank everybody in the chat. Appreciate all you guys. There's a lot of normal people that regulars that didn't show up this time around because it was a last minute kind of unannounced show. Just things going on in our lives where we couldn't plan it out, unfortunately. But I'm glad that we did get the show out of the way because I felt like it was much needed. I should be streaming on Friday. I'm going to have Raj on as my guest. And eventually in the future, we're going to try to set up a stream with Raj from our 49ers and the Locker Room Rant on with me as well. And we're going to try to do a little fun stream as well. So I appreciate all you guys. Thank you guys for watching 49er Minded, where we get into the minds of 49er fans. Keep repping those 49ers and stay 49er minded. Peace. Let's go. Get healthy.
Later,
the bye
fam.
week. Beat Tampa Bay. Let's have a resurgence the second half of the season. Forget this 4-4 crap. Let's do this.
Yeah.
Niners, baby.
Later, chat. You guys were great. Peace.
Come on, 49er Fans. Let's get it.
Because it's 49er mind.
We gotta do this one time for the Empire.
It's 49er mind. It's 49er mind.
We gotta get that brick by brick real quick.
49er mind.
Yo, we can't listen to them haters, man.
49er mind.
We from the Bay.
49er mind.
We them San Francisco 49ers.
49er mind.
We got that red and gold blood inside us.
49er mind.